Hey guys, LBF back again with another Vans review. Today taking a look at the MTE Crosspath XC. Colorway is Peyote Black, size 13. Retail on these, I believe, was $145. Comes in your brown and red clamshell box here, just a basic Vans box. These aren't VR3, so they don't come in that brown box that we typically see with the Crosspaths. These dropped, I guess, about a week ago now, releasing with, I want to say, like 5 colors. The most basic colors that you're going to see with these are going to be this Peyote, and then there was also a solid black pair that dropped. I'll review these next, but the Peyote one here is probably my favorite in the pack. I really love this like kind of tan taupe-ish color, just super clean with all the black accents on it. The other colors that released were a little bit brighter. There was like a purple and brown, and then like a kind of like a seafoam green color, a more feminine color, and then I think like an olive one as well. But yeah, these ones were definitely the ones for me. So the Crosspath is a shoe that I actually have not reviewed on my channel. This is a Crosspath. You guys may be familiar with these, as it's essentially like the newest edition of like the ultra range realm. So the Crosspath, you can see it's got a much thicker sole to it than like an ultra range does, but essentially kind of the same like sportsy athletic kind of vibe on the upper. So with these XCs, you can tell right off the bat, these are a little more rugged. So definitely the first thing you're going to notice with these Crosspath XCs is this Vibram sole here. You got the Vibram hit on the side. This is going to be the XS Trek Evo sole, or I guess it's a rubber compound more than the actual sole itself. But I guess this particular rubber compound is supposed to be really good in kind of like all types of surfaces, multifunctional, but definitely a very aggressive outsole that's going to be great any kind of like outdoors, hiking, type of environments. But yeah, you do see a little bit of foam peeking through there, kind of like that co-molded outsole that we're used to seeing with the Ultra Range series, meaning you're going to get the comfort from these EVA foam midsoles, but also the traction and durability of these now Vibram outsoles, which is pretty rad. Features this nice like checkerboard, almost like a toe bumper on both sides of the shoe here, which at first I was kind of off put by it. I thought it might be like a little too loud or just a little too, I don't know, in your face, but it's actually kind of subtle. And I think just like with this color, it really does work and definitely adds a little bit of extra protection on there. So I dig it now. But yeah, checkerboard vibes for sure. You got a little bit of a toe bumper there too, right on the front, with a nice little mud guard. This is going to be in like almost like a hard, maybe plastic, almost rubberized material here. It's got a nice little like crepe texture to it. But I really do like the fact that these do provide some support. They're actually pretty sturdy up here compared to most other ultra range types, or even like the regular Crosspath. Of course, it's just like nothing there. So you do have a little bit of the support on this toe bumper. I mean, even on the heel of the shoe too, it's like super sturdy. So this thing is, it's definitely built tougher than your average Ultra Range or Crosspath. Does feature this almost like a ripstop nylon type of pattern, but it's kind of like in its own, I guess, Vans design, with the diamond textures on it. Hoping that these are very breathable with like this like mesh kind of nylon. You do see some suede kind of wrapping all around the shoe here. You got a little bit on the heel counter, of course on your eye stay, and then right underneath that mud guard too, you'll see some of the suede kind of peeking through. This is going to be an asymmetric design, so the shoes are slightly different, especially like with this toe piece here, and then even just like the sides of the shoe. I really do love the rapid weld design with these. You'll see that it does show the exposed seams, but there is like a coating of some kind of like synthetic plastic or rubber type material that is coating over the stitching to really give it like a very clean and obviously water resistant design here. But yeah, you got those rapid weld pieces on the jazz stripe, kind of on the sides of the shoes. And I really like this, like almost like a cage that's right around the pinky toe, because this is where I always have issues with my shoes, is this particular area being too tight, just because I have a slightly wider foot. So it's nice to see that it is kind of very accessible, I guess you could say. One of my favorite parts about this shoe too is this subtle kind of like stripe that goes all the way around. You'll notice like the jazz stripe, and then it kind of like blends into this elastic strap that we'll get into in a sec, but then kind of just continues to wrap around. And even when you get to the heel of these things, you'll notice it just turns into this pull tab and then back on the other side. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I guess one of the more standout features of the shoe is definitely this like fast lace technology here. So this is very similar to like a BOA type system. Like if you guys are familiar with snowboard boots, they some of them have this like crank kind of BOA system that really like locks your lace up. So with this one, it is kind of just like a pull toggle, but same concept. You just like throw them on, pull the tab real quick, and then your laces are all locked up and laced up, ready to go. So pretty cool. Definitely gives me kind of Solomon vibes. If you guys are familiar with those shoes or with that particular brand, they do a lot of this type of like quick lace stuff, but you do have that elastic lace that kind of like hides this extra lace, which is cool. And there's like a rubber tip on the end of it too, so you don't have to worry about the lace like falling out of the elastic. It does kind of go through this little like hole system there on the tongue as well, which I suppose if you guys really wanted to, you could just cut this tag off and then just put like actual laces in it. Just keep in mind that this eyelet on the top is like super small, so they would have to be some pretty narrow laces. I really love the details on the branding too, kind of very simple. You have the Vans and MTE hit there on the pull tag on the tongue, and then you just have this little suede Vans flag that's actually just like a part of the eye stay, which I thought was pretty cool. On the heel here, we do see this like extra bit of rubber wrapping around from this Vibram sole. You'll notice it kind of like creates like a shelf type of deal. I'm not really sure the function of this. I feel like I see this on a lot of shoes. It might just be that you can use this to kind of like take your shoes off if you use your other foot to pull on the heel. But yeah, it's definitely durable. You got an extra bit of rubber there. Double pull tabs too. You got one on the top here and then this one on the bottom. Don't really know the function of the bottom one either, other than maybe to just like be able to like hold them, as a pair, or like, I don't know, clip them onto your backpack or something like that. But either way, very cool design. You have a really nice soft kind of like synthetic nylon material that lines the interior of the shoe. These do have a gusseted tongue that goes down to about here. These are not like waterproof by any means. I want to make that very clear. I did test these actually. And I noticed that they were fine around the toe here, but then as soon as water got into this tongue area, it did seep in a little bit. So this is definitely a more of a light rain kind of like maybe splashing some puddles kind of vibe, but definitely not to submerge your foot completely in water. They will get wet, so keep that in mind. You do have a little bit of padding on the tongue here, which is like this, almost like this greenish color, glow in the dark looking color. Just on the tongue there, which is nice, very minimal. But overall, a very comfortable shoe. I really do enjoy the fit of these. More so than the Crosspath. I did notice, like comparing the Crosspath to these Crosspath XCs, that the Crosspath is very tight on the toe box. So like the material's kind of like, I don't know, they're really pulling down on the top of the toe. Whereas with these, I think having this kind of like mud guard here, it almost elevates the toe box area and it creates a little bit more room around the toes. As far as like the midfoot of the shoe, it is going to be a little bit tighter. It's a little bit slimmer. So that aspect is definitely similar to the regular Crosspath. Just expect to see a little bit more room around that toe area. But yeah, these things are super rad, super rugged, and honestly, like under the radar right now. I don't know why Vans isn't promoting these heavily, but I have not been as excited on a pair of like Ultra Ranges or Crosspaths in a minute. But these things are amazing. I wouldn't change a thing on these, honestly. The XC aspect of it, honestly, I wish I could tell you guys what that means, but I have no idea. They don't really talk about it in any of the branding descriptions I've seen of these. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll find out one day. But either way, this is a rad shoe. Hope you guys enjoy the review. Definitely be sure to stay tuned for the on feet.